Have you ever returned something to Amazon and felt absolutely nothing? No awkward questions, no stressful explanations. You just click return item, print the label, drop the box off, and boom, refund. Sometimes the money hits your account before you've even left your house or the post office. It's almost magical. It's like Amazon somehow reads your mind and thinks, yes, we trust you. Here's your money back. Go buy more stuff. It feels so smooth that it almost feels wrong, right? And that's exactly what makes it brilliant. While you're happily sending back that item you never really needed, Amazon is quietly running a system that would make most small business owners break out in a cold sweat. And it raises the question, when millions of people return items every single day, does Amazon actually lose money? Or is there a hidden method to the madness that somehow turns your refund into profit for them? Stick with me, because by the end of this, you might be shocked to see that in many cases, Amazon makes money because people return items. To understand why this seems so counterintuitive, let's start with the way returns normally work in most businesses. Imagine you run a small store, maybe a boutique or a gadget shop, and someone brings back an item. Suddenly, the sale is gone. The item has to be inspected. Someone has to decide whether it can be resold, and if the product is slightly damaged, outdated, or seasonal, it might never be sold again. Returns are expensive. They cost money, time, and often your sanity. That's why traditional stores usually make returning an item difficult. They might charge a restocking fee, delay refunds, or ask a million uncomfortable questions. Returns are treated like emergencies, problems, and liabilities. Amazon treats them as part of the system, part of a well-oiled machine designed to increase trust, encourage spending, and collect valuable information. This difference becomes even clearer when you consider the sheer scale of Amazon. They handle billions of orders every single year. Even if only a tiny fraction of those orders are returned, we're talking about hundreds of millions of items moving back through their system. A mountain of boxes, tape, labels, and delivery trucks, each guy constantly in motion. But Amazon doesn't freak out. They don't cry over spilled shipping fees. They think in systems, flows, and patterns, not individual packages. They care about the bigger picture, keeping you buying, building trust, and learning from each return. A single item being returned is irrelevant. What matters is the behavior it triggers, the data it generates, and the long-term impact on your relationship with Amazon. And here's where it gets really interesting. Most people assume Amazon is generous with returns because they're nice. Sure, they like being nice, but there's a method to the generosity. Easy returns remove fear from buying. When customers know they can return an item quickly and with almost no effort, they hesitate less, spend more, and experiment with products they might otherwise avoid. That expensive gadget you have been eyeing, less risky, that dress that might not fit, no problem. Returns remove friction, and friction is the mortal enemy of online sales. The easier you make it to return items, the more likely people are to click buy now without thinking twice. But here's something that really blows people's minds. Amazon often refunds you before they even get the item back. To most companies, this would sound like insanity. Wait, what if someone just keeps it, you might ask? But Amazon knows statistically that most customers are trustworthy. They also know your buying patterns, your history, and the odds of abuse. So instead of making you wait, they refund you instantly. The psychological payoff is massive. Happy, confident customers spend more, and in the long run, Amazon makes more money. So now that you've returned your item, what happens to it? Does it magically vanish into the ether? Not exactly. Amazon inspects it quickly. If it can be resold as new, it's repackaged and sold again, sometimes at full price. If it's not in perfect condition, it moves to the next stage. Some returned items are sold as open box or used. Others are bundled into massive pallets and sold to liquidators. Entire warehouses of returns get shipped off in bulk, where other companies resell them. And here's the kicker. Amazon doesn't need to recover the full value of every item. Even partial recovery at scale is highly profitable. This leads us to the liquidation pipeline. The liquidators resell these items everywhere. Online marketplaces, discount stores, overseas buyers. You've probably seen Amazon returns without realizing it. Amazon doesn't care what happens next. They've already monetized the return. They've already moved on. What looked like a loss to you is just another revenue stream to them. Sometimes Amazon doesn't even want the item back at all. For low-value products, the cost of shipping, inspecting, and storing the return is higher than the product itself. In those cases, Amazon might refund you and tell you to keep it. Sounds wasteful, but it's actually logical. Why spend $5 to recover something worth 3? Letting it go is cheaper. Another thing most people miss is that Amazon often makes money before the return even happens. They charge sellers storage fees, fulfillment fees, commissions. Even if an item comes back, Amazon has already been paid. The seller might take the hit, but Amazon stays protected. Marketplaces thrive on volume. Not every transaction has to be perfect. And then there's the data. Every return tells a story. Which products fail expectations? Which sizes don't fit? Which listings are misleading? That information improves algorithms, search results, and recommendations. The item itself might be worth nothing. The data is priceless. Amazon uses returns to optimize the entire platform. You might be wondering why smaller businesses don't just copy Amazon's return policy. The answer is simple. They can't. They don't have the volume. They don't have the margins. They don't have the data. Amazon's generosity only works because it's backed by math, systems, and scale. Returns aren't just tolerated at Amazon. They're designed into the growth strategy. They increase trust. Trust increases spending. Spending increases loyalty. Amazon is willing to lose money on individual transactions to win the long game. Returns aren't a bug, they're a feature. Think about it. You return an ugly sweater. Somewhere that sweater joins hundreds of others on a pallet. That pallet gets sold. Amazon gets paid. You feel good. You buy something else. The system works exactly as intended. You thought you won by returning it. Amazon already accounted for that. Amazon doesn't win by avoiding losses. They win by making losses irrelevant. Everything is priced in, expected, modeled, optimized. The system doesn't break when you return something. It gets stronger. This is why Amazon can afford to be patient. They don't need to squeeze every dollar today. They're building habits, confidence, dependence. Once people trust the system, they stop shopping elsewhere. Returns change how people behave. You shop more often, you shop faster, you worry less. That behavioral shift is incredibly valuable. Amazon understands human psychology as much as logistics. Every click, every refund, every box moving backward is part of a loop. Buy, try, return if needed, buy again. The easier the loop feels, the harder it is to leave. So next time you feel guilty returning something, remember this. Amazon expected it, planned for it, budgeted for it, and likely profited from it somewhere else in the system. The brilliance of Amazon's return system isn't kindness. It's engineering. Trust fuels spending. Spending fuels profit. And returns fuel trust. When you click return item, you're not breaking Amazon's system. You're participating in it. And that's the real secret. Amazon didn't just build a store. They built a machine that turns human behavior into money. And it works beautifully. Once you see Amazon this way, it changes how you think about big businesses entirely. They aren't reacting to customers. They're designing behavior. Every feature, every policy, every convenience is there to gently guide you toward doing one thing. Buying again. Returns aren't generosity, they're incentives. They're signals that say you're safe here. And safety is powerful. When people feel safe, they stop comparing prices. They stop hesitating. They stop second-guessing. Amazon isn't just competing on speed or selection. They're competing on peace of mind. And peace of mind is incredibly hard for competitors to copy. So the next time you hear someone complain about returns hurting Amazon, remember this. The system was built with returns in mind from the very beginning. Losses were calculated. Behavior was modeled. Outcomes were predicted. What feels like chaos to outsiders is actually controlled flow. Amazon didn't accidentally stumble into this advantage. They engineered it patiently, deliberately, and at massive scale. And that's the real takeaway. Amazon doesn't win because people never return items. Amazon wins because people do. And now you know the secret behind Amazon's returns. If this changed the way you see online shopping, hit like and subscribe for more simple breakdowns of how big companies really work.